Space held such hope for humanity. A fresh start. A chance for old grievances to wither and die. Quantum gate networks let humanity push deeper and deeper into space. Countless planets were colonized. Governed by the Earth Empire, humanity entered a golden age of peace and prosperity. The pace quickened. A human brain was successfully joined with an artificial intelligence by Dr. Gustav Brackmann. The symbionts were born. Eventually, humanity's more base instincts took hold, and the thread began to unravel. The symbionts demanded independence. The Earth Empire's response was a secret loyalty program that pacified anyone with an AI implant. Dr. Brackmann fled with his closest symbionts and created the Cybran Nation. They would fight for their freedom. An alien race called the Seraphim was discovered by human colonists. The Seraphim introduced the settlers to something called the Way. But despite those peaceful overtures, the aliens were attacked by xenophobic soldiers. Soon, the Seraphim were no more. The Aeon Illuminate formed from the ashes. They would spread the Way and cleanse the galaxy of non-believers. The Earth Empire collapsed. The galaxy fell into darkness and chaos. From the ruins rose the United Earth Federation, an old idea made new. Unite the galaxy and restore order, no matter the cost. The technology of destruction surged ahead. The Armored Command Unit made killing efficient. An army could be created anywhere, at any time. The Infinite War has raged for 1,000 years. Billions of lives have been lost. But now the actors are assembled. The final act is about to begin. It is time for the Infinite War to end.
Haha! Supreme Commander. I love this. You know, I honestly haven't done a wildcard in ages, so you know what? I was playing this the other day and I thought, you know what? I should really do a wildcard of this. Haha! Yes. Yes, this will be the plan. Okay, I just showed you the intro for the original Supreme Commander. If you haven't noticed, this is of a slightly different title. Forged Alliance is a standalone expansion which took place directly after the original events of Supreme Commander. Now, I kind of decided to show you that because it kind of fills in all the backstory and lore and that, and gives you a general idea as to what the hell actually happened. Anyway, we'll kind of sidestep here directly, and I'll give you a quick gist as to what the fuck actually happened at the end of the 1,000-Year War. Basically, the UEF built a big weapon. They called it Black Sun, and in the end, everyone ended up fighting over it, and I think UEF pulled the trigger. This was good and bad. Good because it killed billions upon billions of people. Bad because it ripped open the space-time continuum, and all these alien ships come flying through. Little did they realise it was actually the Seraphim, the gods who the Aeon have been worshipping. Hilariously and wonderfully ironic, they came and floored the fuckers in a nice big steamroll. So, as Aeon are dying all over the place, UEF and Cybran are sitting back going, where is your god now? Oh shit, they're coming for us. So, yeah, it basically ended up being 70 years of punishment for all three factions by the Seraphim. And in the end, they just went, you know what, let's just gang up and beat the shit out of the bastards. Hence the title Forged Alliance. Now, Forged Alliance adds a few new things to Supreme Commander, and it kind of, you know, keeps things nice and fresh. However, I'm going to go through the basics of this because there's quite a few people out there who have never seen or heard of this. Shock, horror, and absolute mortification. Right, I will start a skirmish. It will be a sandbox skirmish. There won't be anyone to fight yet. What I'll do is I'll explain the basics of it, and then we'll have a bit of a skirmish and smack the shit out of a couple of bots. If my mate is online, I'll probably drag him online and we'll have a bit of a big skirmish. Let me just check my Steam client on my tablet. No, this is unfortunate. He's not online. He's busy working. So anyway, enough of that. He would have only failed me, but nevertheless, let's continue. Skirmish. Okay, now, unfortunately, Supreme Command Forged Alliance doesn't quite like my sound card, and it's a bit flaky as a result. It may crash when I quit out of a game. If so, there might be a little bit of video editing. You probably won't notice it. I'm hoping everything goes fine, but whatever. Boom. Also as well, Supreme Commander and Forged Alliance have changed quite a bit since its initial release in 2007. As a result, now it's pretty much a community-driven game. Ho-ha! There we go. For all intents and purposes, this is you. I've chosen the side of the UEF because blue is my favourite colour, and he looks like an absolute badass. Now, your commander, for all intents and purposes, is you. And it is the most invaluable and most important thing on the battlefield. You are not invulnerable, and if you are killed, that's it, game over. No matter how much forces and army you've got, if someone takes your commander out, you are fucked. So, how does one go about building a giant army? Now, the aim of Supreme Commander is to take your commander, build a giant robotic army, and swiftly stuff it into the ass of the opposing commander. Now, to do this, your commander can build very basic structures, and his armies are divided into three parts. You've got your land army, your air army, and your... Sorry, what am I saying? It's not air army, is it? Air Force, that's the word I'm looking for. Fuck. So, you've got your Jesus Christ. I'm tired. I've been up for like 18 hours and I'm wired on coffee at the moment. I know, a British man not drinking tea. What's the world coming to? So, we've got our ground forces, our air forces, and our tub toys. For now, we shall start on building a basic economy. Now, in Supreme Commander, everything requires mass and energy to build. The bars in the top left corner indicate how much mass we've got incoming and how much energy we've got incoming. At the moment, we have +2 and +40. At the moment, we can't really do shit. So, what we're going to do is we are going to build a mass extraction unit. Now, these mass extractors will pull mass out of the ground on certain points, which is kind of obviously here. Captain Commander will walk over and he'll build the extraction point on it. And as a result, this will up our total mass income. So we've gone from +2 to +4. Wicked. Mass extractors can also be upgraded to Tech 2. Now, I should explain the tech levels in this. Hang on. Fucking mosquito, get out of here. Your shit is unwelcome. Ah, gotcha. Right. Sorry about that. It's like murderful spree there. Okay. So, as I was saying, 4 technology levels. At the moment, our commander can only build basic Tech 1 material, which is indicated down here. There are 4 levels of technology. Tech 1, Tech 2, Tech 3, and for the numerically challenged, Tech 4. Tech 4 is actually called experimental tech and can only be built by certain units. You can't have factories in it, but trust me, some of the experimental shit you can build is hilarious. Generally makes people shit themselves when the experimental comes running towards them. But for now, I'm going to build a Tech 1 factory. Now, this Tech 1 factory will focus on building Tech 1 ground units, but it can also build a Tech 1 engineer. Each factory can build an engineer of that type of technology. So a Tech 1 engineer will be able to build an entire suite of Tech 1 buildings. It cannot build a Tech 2 building, okay, but we can upgrade a Tech 1 building up to a Tech 2. It sounds confusing, I know, but I will explain as we go. And I'm going to shortcut in a minute and jump straight through and show you a base already pre-built on this map. Right, there's our Tech 1 factory. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a Tech 1 engineer. And he's going to go off and he's going to do our bidding. Commander, on the other hand, can go off and he can build another mass extractor. So we want more mass incoming, but we also need power as well. Now our little engineer is built, you'll see that compared to Commander, he can build a lot more things. He can build radars, sonars, defense point turrets, so on and so forth. What we're going to do is we're going to build some energy production. Okay, so we want power generators. Now power generators, you can plonk them pretty much anywhere, but Supreme Commander has something called an adjacency system. So if we were to build 4 of them down the side of this building, and Commander can build 4 down the other side, what happens is once these structures are built, the energy production from them will offset the cost of any energy energy costs for machines and stuff that we're building from the factory. So if I was to build a tank, it would cost less energy. I think you can get away with what we call mass fabricators, but I don't know, where we turn energy into mass. It's very expensive to run, but it comes in handy if you run out of mass points and you still need more mass. I should also mention as well, the interface to this is actually brilliant. Supreme Commander, the original, had a bit of an iffy interface, but if you held down the Alt key and tapped left or right, you could cycle through, I think it was 4 or 5 different types of interface. One of them was exceptionally popular from the telemetrics, and so it was redesigned and put into this as the standard interface. What we've got here, in the top right hand corner, we've got the score and the clock. The score is an indicator of how well an army is doing if you're playing a multiplayer game. So if you have, for instance, a 20-minute no-rush timer, the score is an indicator as to how well that person is building. If someone has twice your score at the end of 20 minutes, chances are he's going to come and fucking steamroll you. The unit cap at the top shows 12 of 500. You think, 500 units, that's nothing, trust me, you'll tap that easy. The icons on the bottom on the right here indicate idle units and factories. Now, at the moment you can see I have one idle factory and one idle ACU, which is my commander. The commander is always there, but the factories and engineers will be there as well. You do not want anything sitting around doing nothing. Have it reclaiming stuff, building stuff, moving stuff, destroying stuff. Never have stuff sitting around doing nothing. That's the key to Supreme Commander. Always keep doing shit and keep doing it well. As you can see, an engineer has finished, and we now have an idle engineer. Clicking him means I can select that engineer and tell him to go do other shit. Now, the shift key is the most important key in this entire game. It allows you to queue up items, and the beautiful thing is it shows you all the items that you've been building, and it even gives you an ETA as to when it's completed. Supreme Commander, whilst visually is quite nice, it's an absolute technical beast under the bonnet. There is so much groundbreaking stuff. Chris Taylor is a fucking legend when he designed this. And it's the little things, such as the way how the waypoint system moves and everything else, and the assistance system, convoy system, transports. It really is designed to be easy to control a massive army, and he does a fantastic job of it. Whatever happened to Supreme Commander 2, don't get me started on it. Chances are there'll be tears in the process. But yeah, in my opinion, Supreme Commander 2 doesn't exist. Square Enix got involved and eventually decided, hey, you know what, let's take Supreme Commander and turn it into slightly below average Commander, designed for meh. But whatever. Anyway, enough of that. I'm not going to go down that route because I will start crying. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to exploit the adjacency system again. We're going to build some mass storage around our extractor. Now what will happen is this will increase the mass extraction of that unit. What we're also going to do is we're going to upgrade it. So it goes up to a Tech 2, and then we can get up to a Tech 3, so we can get even more mass and energy incoming. We can obviously then build bigger units, bigger stuff to throw at the enemy, and more units, more stuff, and yeah, we can just truly destroy them then properly. Commander, you may think he's pretty useless. We have access to all this wonderful technology, and he's still stuck at the bottom. Commander is very useful. We can upgrade him. Now he's got 3 parts to him. Hey, face me when I'm talking to you. Commander has 3 parts to him. He's got the left arm, the torso, and the right arm. Actually, I got those 2 the wrong way around, but you know what I mean. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the left arm and we're going to upgrade the engineering suite. Now, whilst Fabulous Commander is busy being fabulous at Disco Ball, he's going to be upgrading. It will cost our mass, and we are dipping into our storage, but that's not a problem. We've got plenty of collateral there, so we don't have to worry too much about that. We're also going to upgrade this as well to get some Tech 2 material on the good. On the good? On the go. Jesus Christ, I really need tea. I'm fresh out. My cup is empty. This is bullshit. Oh. Nope, there's nothing in there. I want to cry. But anyway, yes. So Commander is busy commanding and doing stuff. Might as well talk about some of the cool shit that this does. Supreme Commander was the first RTS to use dual screen monitors for, commanding. You can't see this, but the monitor to my left has a complete topographic and cartographic view of the entire map. If I roll my mouse all the way out, you can see the strategic view which was implemented. This is amazing. So you can flip a mouse look and you can see the world, and everything's all represented by strategic icons. This is a tiny map. This is only, I think, 10 by 10 kilometers. You've got 81 by 81 kilometers where you can have colossal clusterfucks of units running around all over the place. This is brilliant. However, it comes at a cost. There's a lot of computational shit going on in the background of Supreme Commander and Forged Alliance, and by God, it will destroy your machine. Now, I'm not running the best CPU in the world, and I feel it. Also, the game wasn't brilliantly optimized for multi-core. It came out just as multi-core CPUs were hitting the market, so it still, I think, uses one core. There have been patches out there to try and fix that, but I don't know. I don't know. Argue amongst yourselves regarding that. There is information out there. There is a massive wiki as well, I should mention, which has everything from factional statistics, unit statistics, so on and so forth. So you get an idea as to, you know, what the hell's actually going on. Now then, whilst he's busy doing that, I'm going to show you something else that's cool. I should build 2 engineers. Take 2 engineers. We'll experiment with them in a second. Forged Alliance introduced something cool called the template system. If you built a selection of units, okay, you could save that as a template, so you can easily bring it up later on. If I open my templates, I've got 1 template. Now, templates are only available depending upon the tech level of the unit who's doing the building. So, for instance, if you built a template designed for a Tech 3 construction unit, it won't be accessible to anything below. At the moment, I've got 1, which is for mass rig. All it does is it puts 4 mass storage around a mass point. And I can click and leave him to do that. So I can basically literally build fire bases, template them, and thunk them down. It's worth noting that the template is constructed in the way that the buildings were originally constructed. So if you put down a shield generator first and then build stuff under it, when you come to build the template, the shield generator is the first building being built. Now that that's being done, we're going to go and reclaim some stuff. Another cool thing of Supreme Commander is the pathing system. If you right click, you tell the unit to go somewhere. If you hold down shift and right click in various places, you basically queue up movements. This is fairly normal. However, Supreme Commander allows you to drag and move patrol paths in real time, so you can change depending on what you want. If you have a unit and you wanted to do a patrol, you simply right click all the way around and click back on a point, and voila, you've created a patrol. That unit will then go off and he'll patrol along those lines. Depending on the type of unit will depend on what kind of actions that unit will do. For instance, I've told my construction bot to go around on a patrol route. Any building sitting around being constructed, he will go and repair or assist. He will reclaim material like he's doing now. He will go off and salvage enemy wrecks off the battlefield and generally just be really helpful. And the great thing is this is autonomous. I can just leave him doing it and he'll keep on doing it until there's nothing else left to do. It works for commanders as well, but you don't really want your commander walking around the base going la 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 as things are coming down, shelling down upon him. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to upgrade to Tech 3. And basically there are lots of things that you can do. I want to explore... Fucking mosquito! Come here! I did get him. I've got his brother now. At this rate, I'm going to kill the entire family. You may have evaded me now, young sir, but I will fuck you up. I need one of them electric tennis rackets. That'd be wicked. Zap, zap. Anyway, he's gone. Right. Enough of this distraction. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to quit out of this, and I'm going to fire up a base I built earlier. In true BBC style. Now, fingers crossed this works. Ooh. I think I may have gotten away with it. Voila! And here's what I created earlier. Now, this is not really in terms of function, it's kind of, I want it to look a bit pretty. And we'll talk about some of the more advanced shit that actually goes on in Supreme Commander. Now, you may notice I've got rings all over the place. Supreme Commander gives you a full real-time, gives you full intel on everything you can do. Up here on the left, underneath the mass and energy bars, we've got the command options. So we've got abilities to signal, place beacons, and that's so we can signal our friends in combat, in co-op, and so on and so forth. There are various options you can do with the map. So if you wanted cartographic view, you wanted to split the screen so you can have multiple views, it's entirely down to you. You've got so much shit that you can do with this engine, it's wonderful. The option to change player colours, depending upon their, their stance against you. So if you have like 4 or 5 guys on a battlefield in a co-op game, and everyone is different colours, you can basically isolate, you can separate it between good guys and bad guys. You can also pull up a listing of what's using what in terms of mass and energy. As you can see, this radar generator is eating energy at the moment. And you can see the amount of the power being generated by the adjacent power generators. And then you've got the strategic overlay, which allows you to basically set up anything you want. So if you wanted to, you could see your entire anti-navy capabilities, your countermeasures. You can see your direct fire, the range of your units. You can see indirect fire for things like artillery units, and you've got miscellaneous stuff like stealth fields. I usually just keep it to anti-air, direct fire. You've also got your intel tab as well, which if you turn everything on, look at that. It's fucking brilliant. So good. I mean, you can combine everything into one nice big lump. Look at that. I love this game. Anyway, enough of that. Let's focus upon the base. Now, as you can see, Commander, he could do with being upgraded, so what we're going to do is I'm going to upgrade him to do some stuff. So whilst he's busy being fabulous, I'm going to talk about the, oh hello Tweedledum and Tweedledee, go do something useful. Let's go and get some engineers and talk about the assisting system. Assisting in this is a very, very powerful thing. At the moment I have what we call a support commander here, which is like a Commander Mini. Commander Mini is a very powerful asset. A lot of people like to refer to it as a Tech 4 engineer, but it's a lot more powerful than that. It's brilliant for base defenses and structures. We will use him to assist our commander, so simply right-clicking on the commander and he'll go off and he'll assist it. Now the assistance changes depending on what the unit is doing. At the moment, he can see the commander is being upgraded or building. Okay, so what he will do is, with engineering capabilities, he will assist him and he builds even quicker. The downside is it then eats through your mass, but we've got mass already sorted, so it's not a problem. We shall upgrade the commander again to Tech 3. And voila, he goes off and he automatically helps. If we have tanks and we have them assist a unit, then that tank will then try and defend that unit. If we have air transports, air units, then air units will cover and defend a unit that's running around underneath. It's so simple yet so powerful. It has to be played with to really understand what the wonders of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the transport system. Over here I've got 2 transports. Okay, now transports in real-time strategy are normally buggy, bloated things which are just fucking pains in the ass. So Chris Taylor decided he designed the ferry system. Now the ferry system is very cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 2 units come over here and they're going to land here. We'll build a couple of little tanks. I need something quick to build. There you go, build a few of them. Okay, so whilst they're being built, we shall set up our ferry system. Tapping F and holding Shift, we can set up a ferry system. Okay. And as a result, a beacon is placed on the ground. We can then have units sent, here we go, to that beacon, and they will automatically be picked up and taken on the ferry system. That's it. So basically they're going to go there, they're going to go for a nice long route all the way around, and they're going to land here. And we'll catch up with them shortly. Now you may think, that's pretty fucking cool, but I want lots of units to go in a certain place very quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these factories assist the beacon. So any unit that's built in a factory comes out and is automatically sent to the beacon to be picked up and dragged to another part of the battlefield. Again, this is automation. It's so simple and so powerful, and I love it. When the transport is full, it'll load up and it'll fly off and drop those dudes off. Come on, dudes. All aboard the fun bus. And while the fun bus is busy flying off, our dudes have just landed here. So, it's win. Seriously, fantastic. So yes, as I was saying, I want to show you the power of a support commander, which is a Tech 4 engineer almost. Now, support commanders are like normal commanders. We can upgrade them and we can modify their attributes and change how they behave. A support commander has another amazing ability. Okay, if you have a support commander assist a building inside of your base, you think, why would you want to assist a building? It's just sitting there doing nothing. If the building is damaged, support commander will go and repair it. If building is destroyed, support commander will rebuild it. So if you have support commander protecting several key buildings around your base, you won't give a shit about them, because the second they're destroyed, support commander goes, haha, it's coming back, and he rebuilds it. This is amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this. What I have here, guys, I'm done with you. Thank you for your efforts. What I have here are 3 mass converters. Basically what they do is they take shit tons of energy and they convert it into mass. The downside is it costs a hell of a lot. At the moment it's eating 3,500 in energy, but it's producing plus 24 in mass. Now at the moment that's not doing too badly, but what I'm going to do is we're going to destroy one of them and have support commander rebuild it. Buildings in this can have a volatility in them. For instance, these have a little tab on them which says volatile, which usually means that should it go bang, it's going to go bang, bang, bang and take out a whole load of shit next to it. Hello, Funbus! Oh, he's dropping more dudes off. That's nice. Gentlemen, go be with your friends. Actually, go on a Funbus again. Funbus will come pick them up. There we go. Right, okay, now Funbus is leaving. What we're going to do is we're going to organise these. Now, if you have your support commander assist a building, he goes and stands next to it. It's not the brightest thing to do when the building could potentially explode, wiping out support commander. So, what we do is we have support commander assist a building nearby that's outside of its range. Voila. Now that's 3 buildings protected. 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 buildings. If one of these buildings was to accidentally go pop, like I'm just about to let it, whoops. What's that? You want me to rebuild that for you? Oh, I can do that. So support commander is the most amazing thing I've played with in... Hello, Funbus! So support commanders are fantastic. I love them. Okay, and you can upgrade them for shields, which means they can sit in your base, and should anyone literally shell the shit out of it, it just goes, okay, I'll rebuild it. Now you may notice that when he went to rebuild it, it jumped straight to 50%. Buildings that are destroyed can sometimes leave wreckage of a building. If you build that exact same building atop of the wreckage, you basically get half of it refunded back to you. So it's not a problem. You can basically rebuild anything up and scratch. Support commander will rebuild that and he'll patch that up. Now, remember what I said about adjacency? This is called ringing. If you have a building and you surround it completely in all sides by it, you increase the output of it. This ordinarily produces 5,000 in energy. By surrounding it completely, you get a 50% bonus of its output. Excuse me, gentlemen. Who wants to go on the Funbus? Funbus! Right. Now they're busy having fun. I can get back to this. As you can see, I've got a support commander. He's sitting here guarding them. Now you may wonder, what is this strange thing in the middle? This is what we call a bubble or a shield generator. If I turn it on, it takes a second to warm up. And lo and behold, voila, we're protected. Shields will take a certain amount of punishment before they need to shut down and regenerate. You can keep shields up by having units, construction units assist the shield. So basically what they do is they pour excess energy in there to keep it up and running. Great for if a certain position or part of your base is being shelled from a distance. Speaking of shelling, you may notice we have some big guns here. This is what we call Tech 3 artillery. If you've seen the miscellaneous card of Supreme Commander, I started building these and started shelling the piss out of the base. These things make nice craters and a nice mess. They're very inaccurate, but who gives a shit? You've got about 200 pounds of ordnance. A bus full of explosives being fucked up 300 mile an hour at an opponent. Yeah. Speaking of buses, gentlemen, Funbus, and you can join as well. So yes, that is Supreme Commander. Now I'm trying to think, what else do we have to play with in here? Ah yes, the Air Force. I haven't covered the Air Force yet. Again, Air Factories come in 3 flavours: Tech 1, Tech 2 and Tech 3, and their options change according to the tech level it's on. Airplanes have fuel in them. Okay, so if we zoom and track a target, using T, you can see that this plane has a fuel bar underneath it. It currently has, in the bottom left hand corner, 7 minutes of fuel left before it needs to refuel. This plane is following a predetermined path that I set up, as you can see by the blue outline which I've just highlighted. This blue bar, this blue line, stops over a couple of refueling stations or Tech 2 air staging facilities. If an airplane is damaged, it lands. If it's out of fuel, it lands. Wonderful timing, that plane. Refuels and flies off. And that's it. So there's your air. That's the air units. Now onto the sea. Sea are. I'm not too fond of playing with the Sea Force. It's well the Navy. It doesn't really push my buttons, mainly because I'm a UEF player, and UEF Navy, whilst it's very powerful in terms of hitting, it's about as manoeuvrable as Vanessa Feltz in front of a Carrot. So, oh god, that could be taken so many wrong ways. Okay, Health Food, there we go. Vanessa Feltz in front of Health Food. Yeah, it doesn't move. In fact, it goes in the opposite direction. That's kind of how UEF Navy works. It's very slow, very sluggish, but when it hits, by fucking god, you feel it. Anyway, I want to get my commander up to Tech 3. He is at Tech 3. What I want to do is I want some engineers to assist my commander, because I'm going to show you experimentals. Now, the UEF have several experimentals. Ordinarily, they had 2. However, in Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, it is now 4. There are mods out there to increase this number even more. But for now, I'm going to show you one of what is considered to be the god of experimentals. It is called the Fat Boy. It's basically a massive tank. Oh, hello, Funbus. Where's your passengers? There we go. Good play with Funbus. Right, whilst Funbus is moving then, we'll build an experimental. Now, look at the size of this thing. It's fucking huge. These things are, I mean, look at the stats. Okay, bottom left-hand corner. Air staging, amphibious, anti-air. It's a factory, a shield dome. It has torpedoes, and it's volatile. These things, whilst they are extremely powerful, they are not invulnerable. They are quite easy to destroy. Fat Boys need to be used in a certain manner. For instance, these are mobile field bases. Park them in a part of the base, and that's it. They'll protect it. And they have 4 battleship guns on them, which fire like miniguns. They are fucking brutal. They can rip other experimentals to pieces, and an oncoming force is basically mincemeat. The downside is they have somewhat weak anti-air support, so you need to back them up with some anti-air. UEF anti-air is okay, mobile anti-air isn't too brilliant. Stationary anti-air, SAMS, is pretty badass. Each faction, there are 4 factions in this, as you, did I mention that? I don't know, I'm having a Herp Dirt moment. There's 4 factions, and you saw the 3 of them in the, no, I did mention them, didn't I? Haha! Yes, I am superior. Each faction behaves quite differently, despite their technology being somewhat similar. The ground rules and construction and that is pretty similar, but they have certain options available to them, and each style plays differently. UEF are very hard-hitting, but they're not the most manoeuvrable, so they can be flanked quite easily. Cybran have the best air force, but their ground forces are more suited to hit and run tactics, and they favour stealth over durability. Aeon have very powerful Tech 3 stuff. Their air force is not too bad. However, their armies are built to be more specific. They need backing up by other units. As you can see, we have a Fat Boy. Now, Fat Boys are wonderful. Look at that motherfucker. Ha-ha! Want to park that in Asda, wouldn't you? Just flatten everything. And yes, Fat Boy has the ability to make babies! Look at this! Babies out of its ass! So yeah, whilst it's busy shitting out a Tech 3 artillery unit, I'm going to show you about the most terrifying weapon in the game. It is called the Strategic Missile. Now, strategic missiles are basically nukes. And if I recall correctly, it's probably one of the better nukes in real-time strategy. You had... I think the worst nuke I ever played with was with the original Red Alert. It was basically like a small mushroom cloud that went poof, and that was it. It took about like 5 minutes to make, and yeah, that's pretty crap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn part of the eastern seaboard into glass. Now, unfortunately, I don't have anyone in here to shoot, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it here. Actually, I'll drop it over here, because fuck trees. Oop, my tablet's just gone off. When you hear the computer shout strategic launch, what's it, strategic launch? I can't remember. But anyway, it turns... Oh my fucking god, look at that! You wanted a nuke? Yep. Pretty much everything there will die. And it's made a wonderful job of all the trees. Haha! And you know what the best thing about it is? I can hold 5 of them in here, so you know what? Let's nuke all the things! Actually, I want you to get the fuck out of there. Go, go, run, run! Go, now! Shit. So yes, that is Supreme Commander. As you can see, there's a lot of cool shit in here, but I need to demonstrate this all in a wonderful capacity, i.e. kicking the crap out of someone. Now, I've rambled on for a bit, and I kind of feel like Oh my god, will someone please think of the monkeys? Oh dear god, I've just knocked my mic off my shirt! Hold on. Slight emergency there, I got a little bit too excited at the fact of glassing small animals. And there we go. We should be good. Oh my god! You know what? Fuck it. The turtles on the beach can... Oh my god, they can all be turned to glass as well. Boom! That took a bit of damage. But yeah, it gives you an idea as to the radius. It's beautiful as well, man. It leaves these nice, wonderful craters. Unfortunately, one thing I don't like about Supreme Commander is the world is very flat. And most of the detail you see is just aesthetics. But given how groundhoggingly expensive it is to run in terms of CPU cycles, this does not surprise me. Go on, go play in the fun bus. Unfortunately, I can't... Oh, actually, speaking of fun bus. Haha! Go on, go assist that there. There we go. So this will go off and it'll pick all the wonderful things up and take them elsewhere. And that's... Yeah, such simple mechanics within Supreme Commander to turn it into an amazing game of strategy. Now, I'm going to see about having a skirmish. And what we will do is, I'm going to hope this works when I quit out, because it can be a bit flaky. Come on, baby. No, it's fucking crashed. Hold on. Haha! Oh, Commander, you are a bastard. This thing has fallen over numerous times, and a couple of technical problems mean that I'm actually days behind schedule in releasing this fucking thing. Okay, I was going to do a skirmish, okay, but I found myself focusing too much on the combat and not really making it exciting to watch, and so on and so forth. I tried dragging a friend in so he could take some of the heat off, but I found that because we normally play on cheating artificial intelligence, the half-an-hour game ended up becoming half a day. So yes, that kind of went out the window. So in the end, I've decided to record a small skirmish between myself and the artificial intelligence. And it will be on a map called Fields of Isis, and I should be able to give you a quick lowdown as to what the fuck's actually happening, as opposed to me sitting there trying to micromanage all of my build orders, so on and so forth, and put in a stomping performance. That's what I like to do. It also means I can get down to the ground and gritty with the troops, and you can see explosions and bombs and guns and missiles and ducks and geese and everything else, without me having to sit in high orbit watching all of the little tactical icons running around everywhere and basically, you know, organising the theatre of war. Okay. Now, that's recorded. Let's go into my replays. It's also worth noting as well that... Ooh, there we go. It's also worth noting that the multiplayer side of things used to be handled when the game first came out by a service called GPGNet. Unfortunately, as with all silly services that are run via the studio, it only lasts as long as the studio does, and GPG fell over after Chris Taylor did one of his famous moves of, we make a great game, and rather than playing to my fucking strengths, I go off and pull out a fucking arse of a game and then wonder why nobody buys it. So GPGNet went down. It was then replaced with Steamworks that was patched in as the doors of gas-powered games closed. I think, do they even still work? I don't know. I don't know. Are GPG even dead? I think they might be a shadow of the former selves. I think it might just be a holding company now or something, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so it now uses Steamworks. However, A lot of people moved over, and being the master race that we are, we went off and built our own lobby system called Forged Alliance Forever. It's a free download, you can just Google for it, and what it does is, after you've installed it, it interacts with your game, and you just fire up the lobby, and it's brilliant. There are numerous things, there's a thriving community on there of people, you still get the games played all the time on it. You've got access to a map vault, so you can download new maps for free. That's a staple mark of being part of the master race. And also you've got access to some of the big mods out there, like for instance Black Operations. So you can just start a new game, Black Operations, and all of this is automatically updated through the service. It's brilliant. So anyway, yeah, I normally do that, but because this was an inbuilt skirmish, it was just done through the in-game stuff. So enough of waffling. Crunch. What? Fuck off. There we go. I called it crunch because that's the noise his face made when I stuck my army through it. Oh. Okay. And being that I have complete army control over this, I can slow the game right down to mouse speed and give you an idea as to what is actually happening. Okay. Fields of Isis is a map of left versus right. In the middle, you have two choke points that are paramount. He who controls the choke points usually controls the theatre of war. And it's then a battle between left and right, good versus evil, red and blue, so on and so forth, to try and wrestle control and push it back to the way it goes. Ordinarily, if I was playing with a friend of mine who would be situated up north, he would take the north route and smack out the north guy, I'd go down the south and smack out the southern guy. Because I'm on my own, I've got to make up for both points. My battle plan, as a result, for this map is as follows. 1. Control the skies. He who controls the skies wins. UEF units are powerful, but they're a little sluggish, so I'm going to be relying on air transports later on to move my dudes to the front lines. So I want those skies clear. It also means that my second part of my plan is not going to be fucking bombed to hell and back. 2. I need to control the middle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to park a Fat Boy mobile field base, you saw me build one earlier, right here. The range of its guns can reach up and twat anything walking through here. Okay, that's great. In front of it, I'm going to have a row of Tech 3 long-range heavy artillery, which should reach over and touch everything inappropriately over here. If it survives the artillery, it comes through and Fat Boy decimates it. If Fat Boy can't decimate it, there will be a second force behind to protect the artillery. So anything that gets past it, maybe it be a fast unit, or it could be a big swarm of dudes, they'll mop it up. So that's pretty much my side covered. Once I've got the necessary forces, we'll walk forward. He's going to build a field base here or here, depending on what his mood is. He's definitely going to go and take a small base up here. I will be doing the same over here as well. And then what we'll do is we'll march up and we'll kick his face in. I'll set up an air transport to take my dudes and park them right here once the front of his base has been secured. That's the plan. But as with all plans, they don't usually survive battlefield contact, so it's probably going to go balls to the wall. Anyway, let's focus on what I'm doing now. First thing you always do when you gate in is you build a factory. Now, look where it's been positioned. Time spent moving your commander is time not spent building. By having it right next to commander, all he has to do is torso twist to the right and he can build it straight away. There are 2 power generators immediately going next to it. Again, those 2 are going to give me a small adjacency bonus to the factory. I'm then going to build 4 mass extractors, another line of power generators. He's then going to step to one side and knock up the last 2 power generators. Okay, so that's my factory with full, with 50% energy adjacency bonus already applied to it. My factory, even though it's being built, I can still interact with its build queue and start queuing up orders. I've got a couple of Tech 1 engineers. I've got a factory upgrade to Tech 2, a Tech 2 engineer. Tech 3, I'm going to have a load of Tech 3 engineers, which I'm queuing up now. Hang on, I'll speed that up. I've got artillery, and I'll get some shields as well on the go. It's also worth noting that holding down shift and clicking an icon on the build queue will add 5 of it to the stack as opposed to just 1. You can also modify the queue as well by simply clicking the icon as well. If you want more engineers, left click to add. If you want less, right click to remove. Okay, when you haven't got a number next to it, that means you're just building the 1. That's fine. Okay, so our first engineer has come rolling out. He's happy. I shall call him Tim. Tim is going to go over and he's going to build a hydrocarbon plant. Now, the hydrocarbon plant is not the most powerful way of generating power. It adds plus 200 once it's built. I'm used to playing a mod called Black Operations, which adds modifiable hydrocarbon power plants. So, as opposed to doing 200, you can stack it up to 13,000. It's kind of an important building. I've just kind of built this out of habit. There's 2 mass points in the distance. I've just built 2 mass extractors there, and I've ringed them with mass storage. So that's Tim going to be busy for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Hang on, how long is it going to take? About 10 minutes to do all that. I've got more engineers coming out. So, that was me when I went for a piss break. And they're busy building the mass extractors to my south, and they're going to go off and, like Scottish people, start eating rocks on a patrol pattern. However, unlike Scotland, okay, eating rocks in this actually contributes to my economy. So I'm going to be generating extra mass, which is going to offset my construction costs. You can see the number in the top left corner jumping. Even though it's -4 at the moment, -7, it's jumping into positive numbers with every rock nommed. I've got another patrol pattern at the bottom to nom these 2 groups of rocks down here. I've got 2 more engineers coming out, and they're going to just quickly ring the mass extractors with mass storage. So I'm going to get bonus output from these these extraction points. You can also see as well that because I've got income as well from the the rock eating, I've got enough to spend on upgrading a Tech 1 to a Tech 2. This is good. And because it was the first building I started building mass storage around, it also gets an immediate bonus the second it's built. So I'm going to get more mass in. Now the commander is busy, is done, he's going to go up to Tech 2. So in the the left arm. Yeah, left arm. No, he's not. I told him to assist that. Should have made notes of what the fuck I actually did in this game. I'm winging it like a pro here. Oh, that's good. Sorry, wrong hole. So yeah, Commando's being fabulous. I'm pretty certain he's listening to something in that head of his. It's probably night fever. Yes, it is! So yeah, Commando's busy being fabulous at the moment. So he's going up to Tech 2. Meanwhile, my factory has gone up to Tech 2 and should be producing a Tech 2 engineer shortly. Now, my immediate concern is I've got mass income, I've got energy income. My mass income is constantly going up because I'm upgrading I'm constantly upgrading extractors. My energy, on the other hand, is not. And plus 151 is not going to last. So, the first job is to get some energy production on the go. And a couple of Tech 2 power generators should do the job. 1 and 2. That's going to take about 4 minutes. But nope, it's going to take about 6 minutes to do. Thing is though, I'm going to be assisting that later on with units, so that'll speed up quite nicely. My second Tech 2 engineer is going to come out and we're going to be abusing what we call the kennel system. Kennels in this are engineering stations. They have a massive area of influence, and anything that's within that influence that needs assistance, it sends a little R2-D2 unit which flies to go and assist it. This is alright if anything is being built within the area. Now you may think, you want to put that next to factories and stuff like that. That's ordinarily you'd be right. Cybran, another faction which I'm going up against now, have this ability as well. They can build stations as well. The difference between Cybran and UEF is that UEF, you can actually grab the drones that are released, assign them to a hotkey, and then have them fly off and do other things around the base. So in effect, you've got mini engineers who can't build anything, but they assist with stuff, and you can basically tell them to go anywhere you want across the entire base. So if you've got a power generator that needs building, assist it. They'll fly off, quickly build it, and then they'll run back and dock. Or, if they're not doing anything, tell them to go to a part of your base, and anything being built in that area is immediately assisted. And this is fucking amazing. You can also upgrade these as well. So instead of holding 1 drone, they hold 2. So you get 2 for the price of 1, and double your building speed. The downside is these assists do cost mass and energy, so you need to have a decent economy up before you start pushing and taking the piss out of this system. For now, though, we'll leave them building. And Commander is going to just quickly ring this little extractor down here. I will assist him, get him to assist the power generator in a second, because I remember doing that. God, I yak too much. Tongue's dry. Yak almost as much as a politician, but thankfully there's less bullshit that comes out of my mouth. There we go. So now we're busy hammering that out, and it's going to take seconds to complete. Economy's still going strong, and we're still having Scottish people eating rocks. Running out of rocks to build those, so I'll have the engineers go off and assist bigger engineers in building bigger structures. By then, my economy should be fairly planted and things are happy. I've got a small adjacency bonus on the go here by building a couple of energy storage between the two generators. Now you may be thinking, these units, they all contribute towards your unit cap. Okay, so basically I'm burning three points towards my unit cap when I should be building 3 more generators. Ordinarily, I agree with you. However, space is a bit of a premium, and I like to space my base out, quite nicely, because it only takes a stray missile to hit something, and a chain reaction of buildings that are volatile will basically destroy half of your base. It's a common flaw that newbies do, and also the artificial intelligence, in building everything far too close together. So you only have to take down, say for instance, one shield, send a quick bomber to go take out a power generator, and you'll destroy half his base because it just chain reacts with one another. So it's hilarious when you're on comms and suddenly someone starts singing Diana Ross chain reaction, because you know that half of someone's base is going up in a ball of smoke. Sorry, that may have been something only I did once, but that really pissed off the person I was playing against. I don't know whether that was the irony of it or I couldn't carry a tune, but nevertheless, victory was had and somebody got hurt. Okay, so now I've got Rover, and I've told him to assist my mass extractors. Having a Rover assist a Tech 1 mass extractor to go up to Tech 2 is so quick. You can knock up a Tech 2 very, very quickly. It's that initial push from going to 2 to 3, it's when it starts getting hard. And at the moment, I've got my Commander punching the shit out of this thing, trying to get it up to Tech 3. Bear in mind that Commander is currently nomming -46 in mass just to push this up, and it's still not budging. However, once it's up... Sorry. That's my dinner just churning there. However, once it's... Oh, yeah, that's a bit of an acidy taste. Ugh, fuck. I need more water. Okay, where was I? Ah, yeah. Once it's at Tech 3 mass, it jumps from... Yeah, to plus 54 in mass. That's delicious. I love it. Ah, look at that. My first Tech 3 engineers rolled off the line. And because my Tech 1 engineers are sitting around doing nothing, I'm going to have them start assisting some of the other things I'm doing. Like, for instance, I'm going to have him building and assisting the stations. Speaking of stations, it's time for some big boys to come in. Support commanders. It's one of the first things I usually lunge for as soon as I get Tech 3. That and that and SAMs. Sorry, that wasn't my first, it was my second. I wasn't paying attention. Derp. There we go. And I've got anti-air coming across at the moment. There's a string of them behind this mountain, so anything that flies over it's like, oh hi! Welcome to Painville! And they usually get a rocket in the ass. I've got a little Tech 1 engineer assisting the Tech 3, so it's going a bit quicker. Judging from the scores, I'm assuming Patatron isn't going to start putting up too much of a fight, but we don't know. Most of my air is going to be controlled through patrol planes and paths, so I'll be abusing that. This is just primarily for if anything gets through. Shouldn't do, but just in case. My next Tech 3 engineer is going to be knocking up some power generators. Tech 3. These things are volatile as hell. So if they go pop, they're going to take quite a lot out. So I spaced them out a little. I'm also going to stick an adjacency in the middle of them so I get a little more adjacency bonusing. And Commander is currently going up to Tech 3. Now that the power's on the go and it's going up, I want to start focusing on getting some serious mass on the go, and I'm going to be doing that through mass converters. Sorry, energy converters. Yeah, mass fabricators. Tech 3 mass fabs, like I said, they chew through power like fucking crazy, but they produce a hell of a lot of mass. Ordinarily, I am going to ring these, okay? If I was to ring them with mass storage, I'd get more mass out of the actual fabricators. If I ring it with Tech 1 power generators, it's a power reduction on the actual fabricator itself. So instead of chewing 3,500 to run, it's only going to be chewing through about 2,600. That's 1,000 energy I can spend elsewhere. Either it be firing artillery, building tanks, so on and so forth. So it's worth ringing these fuckers, not with mass storage, but with power generators. You could ring it with bigger generators to, produce even more of a bonus, but I think Tech 1 is more than sufficient. It also leaves a nice gap in the middle where you can drop a Tech 3 radar in there and you'll get a mini power adjacency bonus against the running costs of a radar. And Tech 3 only radars do cost quite a bit to run. Shit's flying nicely now. At the moment, I've got 7 minutes left, so, well, 7.5 minutes. I'm not too fussed about what the AI is doing. When it gets down to 3 or 4, I'll start thinking about what the fuck he's doing. But for now, my main goal is to just focus on getting this shit sorted. All of my engineers are out. I've got a support commander being built. It's time for my dudes to start knocking up some Tech 3 RC. Tech 3 RC is awesome fun. Okay, you can cause a lot of damage with this stuff. The downside is it's very vulnerable. It's got next to no armor in it. It's got next to no armor, but it hits really hard. Another downside is it actually has to park itself before it can fire. Every faction has Tech 3 RC. However, the Aeon RC it doesn't do nearly as much damage as the stationary stuff, but it can move while it fires. So it makes up for the fact that it doesn't hit nearly as hard, but the fact that it can run the fuck around things whilst it's bombing. Quite dangerous actually. Aeon stuff is very specialised. Takes a bit of a hand to get the hang of the Aeon stuff. UEF hits hard, but it's not as manoeuvrable. Cybran are the other way around. They're a little bit weaker in the ground forces. Their air forces are fantastic and they're great for hit and run tactics. So yeah, you change your play style depending. I like to punch things very, very hard, so UEF usually works for me. I pretty much play only UEF these days. Okay, so things are going nicely. I'm going to start building some factories now. Now, all these factories are going to pop out as Tech 1. I'll need to get them to Tech 3 before they're useful. Thing is, I don't think I'm going to get them all done in time before the gong goes and we all come out fighting. It's going to take about another minute and a half for his ground forces to start coming my way, so I'm not too fussed. I can just tell my massive suite of engineers to go and park in his bay, well, to park over here, and they'll assist all the factories in going up to Tech 3.
I have little to fear from the likes of you.
Shut up, Patatron, you fucking muppet. Right, like I said, I need to control the skies, so my first priority is getting air on the go. I'm building 3 air factories, and I'm going to do this through what we call finning. Finning is basically, you create a triangle patrol pattern, and it starts at a couple of air staging platforms, and it expands outwards, hang on, turn the rings off, it expands outwards into 3 massive fins. That way then you've got planes constantly running around, creating an area of no-fly zone. Anything that comes anywhere near it gets spotted by a plane and taken down. You only need like about, depending on the size of the map, 5-10 planes per ring, and you can completely control the skies. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a shit ton of Tech 3 fighters to control the skies, probably about 15 in total. Doesn't sound like much, but trust me, they can decimate an entire fleet of Tech 1 air forces. And then what I'll do is I'll build a couple of Tech 2, well, a shit ton of Tech 2 bombers and have them just fly the rings. So anything that flies under the rings that's not being openly engaged by my fat boys or any ground forces means that I can just decimate the shit out of them with... Ah, here we go, radar's just come online. I can decimate them with bombs. Okay, so the radar's been built and I'm getting an adjacency bonus off it. That's looking very empty. Now, they are Cybran, and Cybran use stealth technology, so I won't be surprised if there's a lot of shit hiding there under stealth. Fat Boy is now being built. It's kind of important because it's kind of the major holding point. Mass is coming in nicely, lots of energy. We'll start pushing up for more mass as well soon. Support Commander is built. I'm going to have him build some anti-air defences within the base, tucking them behind mass setups as well as a nice way of hiding them. And my drones are going fucking crazy and upgrading these factories to Tech 3. At the moment, you can see each point, each waypoint is right up front of the base. So anything that's built just goes and parks there. We're going to grab all 3 buildings and tell the starting point to be here in the middle of these. We'll then we'll then select each building, tap P, and then build a small fin of 2 points. Hello, what are these 2 doing on the right? I can't remember what I did with those guys. I think I might have just left them there for shits and giggles. Do I have any water left? Oh shit, I've only got a bit. There we go. Lots of mass incoming now. And like I said, you can select an entire group of these dudes and just assign them to a key, and then you simply tap the key and go, I want to assist a building, and off they go. The only downside is you've got to keep watching the lines of engineering stations to make sure that you've not got anything that's sitting around as Tech 1 when you can be busy upgrading it to Tech 2. Why are these not at Tech 3 yet? What was I doing? I was probably busy. Ah, there we go. They're starting up to Tech 3 now. Oh, that's right. Yes, I didn't bring them. Oh, hang on. That's right. I had a power problem, didn't I? I built one too many mass fabs without building the support rings around them. So they pretty much decimated my energy supplies. So I went into what we call an economy stall. What I did was I turned off the mass fabricators, which brought my economy back into positive numbers. I'll wait for the rings to be built, and then I'll turn them back on. I'll also knock up a couple more Tech 3 power generators and put some adjacency bonuses in there as well to support the venture even more so. We'll see about trying to get another support commander on the go. And as soon as the Fat Boy's built, I'll send the drones over to assist with the factories, because otherwise they'll all pour all their resources into building the Fat Boy and it will completely decimate my economy. This will not take long at all. Ah, there we go, the fins have been built. So you can see them. You can see them all nice and clearly there. And then once the gong is gone, we push them out to cover half the map. So basically anything that flies within them just dies. And I like that. There we go. And we've got engineers happily building our fighting force. Up we go. And they will just fly around on the path that they choose. If they're not engaging something, they'll fly around. And if they're running low on fuel, they'll park here. Also as well, I should mention the Fat Boy is a mobile air staging platform as well. So if they don't make it back to here, they'll just simply land on the Fat Boy, rearm, refuel, and repair, and then fly off again and carry on their patrol paths. Fucking brilliant. The downside is I've also got engineers sitting around not doing anything now, so I'm going to start having them do stuff. My factories are still not complete yet, but I've still got about a minute and a half left to go. Fat Boy is going to be holding a lot of them off, so I'm not too fussed at the moment. My main concern is to control the skies. Yeah, I'm seeing units actually popping out now, so I can assume he has got a stealth field generator in there. And that's looking like a lot of planes. What I'll do is I'll switch over to the observer mode so we can actually see all the things that are actually going to die. No, that's the wrong one. I wanted the observer. There we go. So yeah, a newbie player would freak out all this shit. This is nothing. It's Tech 1 cannon fodder. Alright, Tech 3 fighters will decimate this for breakfast. This is a bad thing to do for an early rush against someone who's got Tech 3 air support, because all you're doing is you're feeding veterancy to his planes. The more his planes kill, the stronger they become. So his air force just becomes even stronger. And they're doing a nice job of littering the world. And littering is bad. Pew 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 pew. Oh, more shit's exploding. And they're making a move. Okay, so they've damaged one of my mass extractors. That's fine. I'm not too bothered. I'm still having power issues at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this and I'm going to flip over to me so you can actually see my figures in the top left hand corner. Yeah, I'm kind of pushing things a lot on the hard side at the moment. Where are all my energies? Where are my drones? Oh, there they are. They've all been assisting with planes. So at the moment, Fatboy's moving into position. I have units busy taking advantage of the spare mass up north. Once that's done, okay, I'll be in a much better position to start launching big shit towards the enemy. You can see the fins have been pushed out a little bit further, so now we pretty much control everything over here. I'm not too fussed about over here because he has no air support left. Anything that he does launch, he's going to have to go through one of these rings, which is going to piss everything off. So nothing will get through here. I'm pretty certain of that. Fatboy is going to get into position now, and he'll cover this entire point. There he is. He's in position. He's also going to be a nice mobile point. Artillery is moving into place as well. And I'm seeing forces moving up. Also, the planes as well are giving a nice recon so I can see what's coming. And I'm seeing quite a lot of things coming towards me. Looking at the tags, the majority of it's all Tech 1 and Tech 2 stuff, so I'm not too fussed. Fatboy's having lots of fun fucking shit up here. And once the artillery gets into position, they'll just openly start firing at stuff. The thing is, they're firing at both north and south points. The southern point doesn't really bother me so much because it's just, there's nothing down there. Fatboy's going to numb all that shit. I need them decimating all the stuff up north. So if I tell them to go and attack the northern point, they'll all re-aim and fire for great victory. Speaking of firing for victory, I want to watch something explode. Aw, it's cute. So, okay, I've got lots of forces coming through. Artillery's making a nice job of thinning them out. Fatboy can attack both north and south. He's got 4 guns which can track independently, so it's not like he's focusing on one target and that's it. What I'm going to do is, now the factories are upgraded, I'm going to build some stuff and I'm going to send it north. These are little siege heavy assault bots. They're fast, they're shielded, and they're pretty good at fucking up light stuff, but they struggle with some of the heavier stuff. You end up having to beat heavier stuff, usually through numbers. I've got heavy siege bots coming out, which are going to mess shit up even more so. At the moment, they're getting a little too close to my comfort. I'm going to pull them back, okay? So what happens is they walk into the Fatboy's fire, and anything that's still surviving, then they just mop up. As you see, Fatboy's having a nice bit of fun over here. Just chewing shit up. More artillery! However, I've got a problem. Douchemouth has decided he wants to set up anti-air support. So he's got anti-air units at the other side of the ridge firing at my planes and flying over in their fin formation. I need to push forward and start taking them down. Against Tech 3 fighters this isn't much of a problem, but I've got Tech 2 bombers now flying around, and they are easy to get shot down. Speaking of bombers, he's just launched a Tech 3 bomber, which is going to go after my Fat Boy. It's dead, but the Fat Boy's just taken a hit. Shields have supported it, so it's not so much of a problem. Whilst I've got my dudes over here, I'm going to take advantage of the fact they're here, and I'm going to walk them into mopping up hit the start of his field bases. I can't allow him to get a foothold over this side of the war. Happy feet. Look at that happy motherfucker. Bobbing without a care in the world. So yeah, that's his southern base pretty much destroyed. I have complete control of the map at the moment. I separated my forces to begin with and mopped up what he had up here. There's a couple of units moving in though, I don't know what they are. That's Tech 1. Oh, he's playing the T3 arty game. That's nice. And something has just very quickly taken them out. I don't know what that is, I'll keep my eyes on that. Meanwhile, back at base, I've decided, to hell with this, I'm going to start building some Tech 3 arty. Now, I'm having mass problems at the moment because everything's being built, so I've got more mass production being made. The energy's there, so that's not a problem. But once the mass is sorted, then things will be going my way. The Tech 3 arty at the moment is destroying my economy by a whole 176 points. Plus, I've got drones assisting as well, so it's slaughtering it. The downside is this economy stall is slowing down my production of troops. Hello. Looking at the map, I'm seeing something big coming! Look at that massive motherfucker! Cybran Experimental. Puts the mental in experimental quite happily. This shithead can cause... He's basically a Fat Boy, Cybran Fat Boy. But it doesn't have the range or I think the DPS output. I'm not too sure. Someone may need to quote me on that. But it's a problem. I've got Tech 3 arty going for it at the moment. And he's also playing arty games with my arty. So I'm trying to reinforce the front, but it's not working. They're too weak. So I'm going to pull them back. It's no good, Captain. They're too weak. However, the big boys have come in now. These things have 3 times the hit points, so they can at least get a couple of shots off. Fat Boy's going ballistic shooting at them. No, he's not. What the hell are you shooting at? Ah, very clever. Whilst my forces are busy taking out this dickbag, he sent something down and he's killed my artillery. That's no good. Fat Boy can kill it, but he's going to be on his own. Everything is all hands on deck at the moment, killing this bastard thing. I thought you were made of sterner stuff. What I can do now is I can reclaim that wreckage for my economy. In fact, I should have done, but I can't remember why I didn't. Probably because I didn't spare any engineers at the time. My Tech 2 forces, I'm ultimately unimpressed, so I'm now going to go off. He's started building in the ordeal of me dealing with that experimental. He's now started getting a foothold down south. I'm going to send planes on a patrol pattern around there to try and bomb the shit out of everything. But I don't know what air support he's got down there. I'm not too fussed if I lose them. It just means I can build more. We need to start pushing again. Fat Boy's holding. Air cover is strong, so I'm not too fussed at that at the moment. But we need to start claiming this back. Okay, he's brought out the Cybran Tech 3.5 stuff, which is the heavy bricks. Tech 3 bricks are quite painful, but in a slug out between UEF heavy assaults and Cybran's heavy assaults, UEF wins. That's alright though. Because he sure as shit ain't going to get through that wall. Whilst I'm busy mopping that up, he's determined to go north, so what I'll do is I'll send a lot of my forces down south. I've got more Tech 3 arty coming out at the moment. We're going to take this middle point again, and we're going to carry on shelling. That should help soften up the north. I've got units going up north to try and hold that point. Meanwhile, a large part of my force is going down through the south. He's not focused on the south, so that's where I'm going. There's nothing down here, so I can quite happily walk in and cut off the forces he's got up here. Also means I can secure a stronghold point here. If there's nothing down up here in this part, or down south, I'll send the artillery down and park it right here so we can shell at his southern base. I'll have a small force covering the front doors to stop anything from the southern point going up north, and I'll try and see if I can... Oh my god, I've got another experimental to deal with. And he really is playing the RT game. Is that his RT or mine? I don't know. All I know is the world is starting to look like a spotty teenager's face. Blackheads everywhere. Okay, Monkey Lord. It's the cheapest experimental to build. Can cause quite a bit of damage. However, against this many Tech 3 heavy support units, it's fucked. Basically, it's not going to get far. Fall! That was a bit cruel, but okay. Ah, so now he wants to start pushing down south. My northern units will now walk down south and see if we can crush him off in the middle. He's playing arty games at the moment, but I'm not fucking letting him. Ah! Lost them. Yeah, against bricks these are going to struggle, so I want my dudes to start going up north. Fuck. So we've got a foothold now. I'm sending the artillery to go and park outside his southern base and shell it. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can try and get a foothold here. Okay, that's quite a hefty squad of Tech 3 stuff there. These little boys aren't going to survive long, so the heavy guns are going to have to start blasting at them. Actually, I'll just switch over to the main observer mode. Pop! And you can see everything without having to worry about line of sight. Ha! Minced. Artillery should be moving into position now. And once it's set up, we can then... Oh god, I can't use tracking in this mode. Bollocks. That's disappointing. Ah, he's shielded. Artillery won't be able to penetrate that, but we can see about still hurting it. I'll switch over to mine mode so I can use tracking. Oh yeah. He's got a support commander at the moment. I stand corrected, he had a support commander. He has shields to his base. However, against all that, it ain't gonna last long. You can always walk units under shields to start shooting at shit. Oh, that's a big angry laser beam. That's not good. Where's it going? It's not interested in those dudes. So where is it going? Chances are it's going for these. My economy is now sorted, so I'm busy building Tech 3 artillery. Even though I've pretty much almost won the game, I'm not stopping. I'm having my dudes go on a patrol pattern around his base, and we're going to start shooting at stuff as we walk around it. Keeping stuff moving means they're going to have problems in tracking them. Thing is though, a lot of Cybran stuff isn't ballistic based, it's all laser, so Meanwhile, artillery is having fun. But this fucker is still making a move. I have no idea where it's going. Where is it going? It is currently just going down south. I built some Tech 3 air transports. Their default objective was to fly around the patrol patterns, so we'll bring them back in and set up the ferry point. This fucker has got to die. A couple of gunships are knocked up, which are flying around the fins and making nice work of it. I have no idea where that thing's gone. It's just disappeared off radar. Fat Boy will get it. Meanwhile, dudes are being delivered. I've got more Fat Boys being built. If he had problems before, he's fucking seriously got problems now. So I'm just dropping troops off left, right and centre, and I am going to walk straight into his base and cause a mess. Artillery! You've just seen 2 shells come winging in and take a chunk out of his base. I love artillery. Oh, this poor dude's not looking too happy. And there's next to nothing left. Again, because the lines are now closer, I can drop troops literally on his front doorstep. And all I've done is just change the patrol pattern. Bye-bye, Commander! Commander is dead. The game is mine. Haha! And that is pretty much it, because I've just run out of hard disk space and this is going to stop rather abruptly. But yes, you've got the gist of Supreme Commander, and I think this is probably the largest video I've ever done at just over 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I need to go off and process all of this and then render it and shove it online. I have no idea what I'm going to do next, don't ask. So I'll probably think of something in the next couple of days and try and toss it up online. Anyway, I'm going to disappear and get myself a late night snack because I'm hungry, and I will see you all in the near future. Have fun.